Things Podcast. All right, are we ready to talk about Mezco's hyper-expensive toys?
Yeah, I'm pulling up their account or their website right now.
That's what I did. Although, I don't know that everything is on the page, because I was looking for something the other day and it wasn't on here.
They're not. So they weirdly take them on and off, but then none of the PXs are either, which is annoying.
Right. Well, that's fine. We'll just, whatever comes up, and that's fine. I don't have a particular agenda here.
And see, like, look at this. Like, Blade is not here. Like, even ones that should be
not on here. He's not even. Oh wait, yeah, he is.
Is he? Where?
Well, if you all right.
Oh, I'm in DC. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's If you go to the Mezco, and for the listeners, if you want to sort of follow along while we talk about this, if you go to mezcotoys.com, and then go to categories and go to 1/12 scale. Don't try to look up 1/12 collective. Just go to categories and look up 1/12 scale, and that brings up everything that they have listed, which, like I said, I don't think it's everything, but whatever.
Yeah.
So what was the first one of these you got?
The first one that came in the mail was Captain America. Originally, my wife was buying them me for, like, Father's Day and birthday and some stuff.
Yeah, because I thought you got, the first one I got was the Dark Knight Returns Batman.
I do not have that one.
Oh, I thought you started with these before I did.
No,
Okay.
I skipped it. And so if you've never ordered these before, you order them, and then anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 years later, they show up.
Well, but Mezco's pretty good. Like, if you go to their website, they're pretty good about updating, and it's always like October to December or like third quarter. Like, there's never a release date, and then they push it back. Like, and also if you're going to collect these, I think we all understand at this point they're going to come out when they come out.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this before, but I would rather them wait and get it right.
Yes.
Rather than ship them out. But yeah, I think the first one I got in hand was Captain America, and then I think Punisher and Daredevil came pretty fast after that.
Now, which Cap did you get? Did you get the regular one, or did you get the one in the, like, 10 or whatever?
I had the regular one.
Okay, that's the one I got, and I'm very, very happy with how that guy turned out.
Yeah, he's still one of my favorite ones. And, there was some early ones that I skipped because, I was going to try to be picky, and, I had to go back later and get Shazam because he's one that's jumped in value, especially once the movie trailer came out. He was kind of hard to get, so I went back and got him. But I haven't collected all of them, but I've got a good bit of them.
I've got, I only know this because the other day, because I throw out packaging for toys, but for these, you keep the box.
Oh, yeah.
And I went back into the storage room the other day to put away, my two most recent ones are Alex from Clockwork Orange and Ash from Evil Dead. And I took all my pictures and everything for Alex for the review that I'll do someday. And I looked at the shelf, I was like, holy shit, how many of these do I have now?
Yeah.
And counted the boxes. I've got 22 of these fucking things now.
Whoa. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you've got to be up there.
13, 14. I've got 16.
Well, and I had promised myself I would only do characters that I love, that I would only buy one of each character, and that I would not go into the horror ones because I've got so many horror toys already, like all the NECA stuff and all the Mezco stuff. Like, there's no reason for me to buy a 112, Michael Myers or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I did not buy him. But when they threw up the Alex from Clockwork Orange, just the idea of having him on the same shelf as the Dark Knight Returns Batman, like, I could picture Batman and, like, Judge Dredd beating him up so clearly in my mind that I just had to do it. And, of course, when they put Ash out there, like, I had to get Ash. I thought I would have to get Freddy Krueger, but they're doing the one from the first movie where his sweater doesn't have the stripes on the sleeves.
Yeah, that was a weird choice, I thought.
Because if you're putting out a premium dollar collector-oriented figure, in general, what they do is put out the best version of the character.
You go for Dream Warriors, right?
Right. You want the sweater with the green stripes on the sleeves. You don't want the first movie sweater. And so I didn't order it. I'm not going to get that Freddy. If they, whenever they get around to doing a Dream Warriors Freddy, I'll probably end up getting it because I've bought just about every. He's my guy. Like, he's my horror guy. I've bought just about every Freddy that NECA has released. But I didn't order Jason. I didn't order Michael Myers. Like, I'm sticking to my guns pretty well. But the first one that was really oh shit, I guess I'm gonna have to get this, was when they offered that deluxe version of Joker.
That's right, that damn Joker.
Yeah,
that's what made me rethink how I collect all of these.
Right, because the original Joker came out. And it's the basic one. It's incredible. It's great. The head sculpts are amazing. He could have come with a few more accessories, but what he comes with is great. But then they, a couple months later, right?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Well, I had my Joker in hand, so it was long enough that it had come out, and I had my Joker.
Right. Well, and that's what I'm thinking, that we had the current Joker before that one was offered. But but it was offered within a couple of months of when that one was released.
Yeah, it was close. It was close because I was pretty pissed.
Looking at the long coat and the extra accessories, especially some of the heads and the hat. The head with the hat on it was a big deal for me, and the fact that his colors were a little more traditional. He had the orange vest with the green shirt. Rather than the standard one that was in like a purple three-piece with a white shirt and a green tie, which looks great. But I was like, I'm going to have to do it. I have to do it. Did you end up getting that one?
I didn't. And I go back and forth if I regret it or not, because that PX Joker is much better. But I just can't double up on these. Like, I can't justify having two of somebody.
Well, oh, go ahead.
That kind of changed how I collected them, too. So, like, Batman, basically for the last however many years since they started showing Batmans, I've just been gambling that eventually I would see one and say, okay.
Right.
That is the Batman. And so now I've ordered the PX, what is it, the Sovereign Knight one, the gray with the blue and the oval. And
Yeah. That's the one that finally got me, that I looked at and I was like, that's what I want, a 112. Because for the listeners who, maybe haven't paid as much attention to this line, you've got a couple different varieties of these. You've got ones that are very comic book faithful, like they're Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You've got ones that are specifically based on movies, like Harley, Wonder Woman, Batman. They've done a Superman, but they're exactly from the movies. But to me, kind of the trademark style is the one where, or the Dark Knight Returns Batman, that's very specifically based on that comic book.
Yeah.
But then you've got the ones where they've kind of taken a lot of different versions and smashed them together to create kind of an ideal, cool version, like the Deathstroke or that Joker we were talking about. I think their Punishers probably fall into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Captain America. That Captain America absolutely is kind of a mashup of the movie and the comic books. And Ultimate Cap a little bit.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, I mean, when we talk about they're expensive, these cost anywhere between, I mean, when they started, they were, 65, I think, and now they average about 80 to 100, depending, because now we have light-up features.
Well, let's go back. How I got sucked in is I bought that Dark Knight Returns Batman because I collect Batman figures, so I want any new kind of line that starts, I want the Batman from it, just to review it, to look at it, and then to put it on my giant shelf full of Batmans. So I had that Batman, but then I came across their Judge Dredd. They did a previous exclusive Cursed Earth Judge Dredd that has the big poncho, that is a different color scheme from their standard Judge Dredd, and I found it on Amazon for like $45. So I was like, shit. I've now granted it's entirely because of how much I love the band Anthrax, but I've loved Judge Dredd for years and years and years now, and for $45, I mean, any Judge Dredd figure I'm probably going to get, especially from this line that I can have face off against a Batman. So I ordered that one. It's fantastic, and I was like, shit, they got me. And I've been through this before with the Masters of the Universe Classics line, where I thought I was going to just buy one, and then they get me.
Yeah.
So that Judge Dredd is where they sunk their hooks into me, and from there, I'm not even sure what the next one was after Judge Dredd, but that's where they got me. How did you end up being sort of a regular customer of these things?
I started seeing the reviews for how good they were. And this was before, too, where they would, now they go up, and the good ones, they sell out sometimes in 20 minutes.
Sure.
And so this is when you could just go order them.
Yeah.
So I got Cap, and somebody had ordered me Daredevil and Punisher. And at first I was going to stick with just Marvel. Like, all right, just Marvel.
Right.
And then I ended up getting Green Arrow and Joker, and then after that I was just, all right, fine, I'll just get all the comic book ones. And so now I stick with just the Marvel and DC. I haven't done any of the outside versions of them, but I've ordered one movie one. I've ordered the Black Panther movie figure because I think with the mask on, it's going to fit in with the rest of them. And I've kind of had the idea that if they were to all of a sudden have a comic Black Panther, I would just sell it off or cancel the pre-order. But
well, and with the way Mezco does that kind of amalgam style, the movie Black Panther really does fit in with the way they did Green Arrow, the way they're doing Batman. Like, it works.
Yeah. And, and some of I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and do Daredevil again. One thing about these figures, too, is it's insane how much the aftermarket prices can be. Like, I mean, Punisher is selling for like $300. I can't even think of what some of the bigger ones are. I think Shazam is up to 300 something now. And so you kind of have to like get them, and you've got to be ready to get them. And that can be difficult, especially because of how they release things. Sometimes there's a countdown timer. Sometimes there's just a random email that says, hey, guess what? This one's for sale now. Go. And like, so you always kind of have to be checking.
Well, and also some of them, like the for a good example, the Purple Catwoman. That was, what was it? It's their Fall Con exclusive, I think, or one of them.
Yeah.
I missed that one because it went up when I was working nights, and there was no way I could have gotten up to order it. But as soon as I got up, I got on the wait list, and now I've got a pre-order in. But that Catwoman sold out in, an hour. Some of them sell out in 5 minutes. Some of them sell out in like a couple of days. So you never know which ones you've got to jump on, so you kind of have to jump on all of them.
Yep.
And with that Catwoman, just for anybody that's listening that might have had interest in that one, the entire shipment going overseas got damaged by weather occurrences or whatever. So I got an email saying that it's been delayed because it was due to be here before the end of the year, and now everything was damaged, so they're having to basically redo the entire run So it's not coming out till spring of next year now, which I'm fine with. All I care about is that I get it. Like, well, I'm thrilled because I did with the blue Wolverine that they did, or the yellow and blue Wolverine, whatever. It's the one you've got.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with that when I was working nights, and there was just no way I was going to be able to get up for it. I signed up for the wait list, and that never happened. So I didn't get lucky on that one.
Now, you may look out with the Catwoman. Catwoman, I've got the standard release, and they're having tons of quality control issues with her. And even mine, like, it's the first one I've gotten where it made me nervous messing with it. Like, the ankles are real tight. The knee is real, like, kind of tight and wonky. I had to hairdryer it. But she's the first one out of the box I've, like, felt like I could really break this. And the rest of them they're solid figures.
Well, I'll tell you this. The only two that I have problems with as far as the joints are Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman.
So it's the girls.
So there's a problem with the female figures because my Harley Quinn, the joints are a little loose. I've had to, like, all of these figures, I put them on the stands. Some of them I've got on the actual stand. Some of them I've got the armature, and they're like Black Adam and Shazam and Batman and Daredevil and Deadpool. I have on the armatures. They're all like doing stuff. But all the rest of them I've just got on the regular stand. And I don't have to touch them ever. They stay how you leave them. But that Harley Quinn I've had to repose a few times because she starts to lean. And Wonder Woman, right out of the box, has a lot of loose joints. Yeah, I was actually pretty... She was the first one, and actually the listeners, you guys can go to needlessthingspodcast.com and find my review of the Wonder Woman figure. She is the first one that I was disappointed by out of the box. And it's not the look. It looks fantastic, but just some of the articulation, the way they did the costuming, I feel like they didn't work as hard on her as they have on some of the other ones to figure out the best way to do the figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and some of them are like that, and that's what's interesting about the line, too. Like, some of them, we keep bringing up, like, Deathstroke. Like, you look at Deathstroke, and you see, like, all the time they put into him. Whereas, like, where's one? Like, Black Adam. I mean, Black Adam is fine, and I think he looks good, but he's pretty basic and, didn't really come with anything, and, he's good for what he is, but there's big differences in some of the figures, which I think is surprising.
But, I'm okay with that because I feel like they look for the best way to release the figure, and they never do anything just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
There's never an accessory that's thrown in just because they needed an accessory. Like that Black Adam, there's nothing else I would have done with him.
Yeah, I could have used another head sculpt for him, but, it's not necessary.
No.
Well, and everybody's complaining this week. They just released the black-suited, I think they're calling it Vigilante Daredevil from the Netflix show.
Right.
And everybody's bitching because he only comes with 2 head sculpts and the billy clubs. But, same thing. Like, what do you want him to have? He could, I guess, you could have had the rope gloves, maybe.
Right. But they wouldn't have known about that in time to have done it.
Yep.
Because it's not a season 3 Daredevil. It's a season 1 Daredevil.
Yeah.
But I will say, if they had the ropes in, I probably would have signed up for that one.
Yeah, I probably would have too. If they had the ropes. I didn't order it, but if those ropes were there, especially because I just watched season 3 not long ago, I'd probably be like,
good.
Yeah, let me get that.
Yeah, right. So out of what you've gotten so far, can you pick a favorite?
Oof. It is probably... It's pretty close between Deathstroke and Doctor Strange. That Doctor Strange figure just... They nail it.
Yeah?
And the cape...
I don't have that one.
Oh, he is amazing. The cape is wired. He came with, spell effects. He came with, like, a projection of his astral form. The textures are great. The head is dead on. I just really like him. I think the modern Punisher is really good. And surprisingly, I like Shazam a lot more than I thought I would.
Dude, he's incredible. And
I can't pinpoint why. He's just a solid action figure.
It's because this is because I've thought about this, because when I come down here into the Phantom Zone and I look around at my toys, he jumps out at me every time. I think part of it is because of he's such a classical character. He needs those soft goods to look right.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I still can't quite define it, but like I've got dozens of Batman figures that all look fine as all plastic. And, you know, I've got the Affleck Batman, I've got the Dark Knight Returns Batman from the 112, and they look great. But the fabric isn't necessary. But something about Shazam having that fabric cape with the brocade on it and that belt and the way the shirt is done just right, it's that military flap cut, like just that look of him. He looks like an Alex Ross, and I'm not a fan of Alex Ross, but the Alex Ross Shazam is like, that's Shazam.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just, he just looks incredible. Like, I think he nails the look more than any of the other figures do. He's a great figure. For me, I've got two that I really can't choose between. Whatever the recent Punisher was, the deluxe one they did.
The Special Ops Punisher.
Yes. That one and the Entertainment Earth exclusive Space Ghost.
Yeah, I keep going back on that Space Ghost.
Man, if you and I think it's still available on Entertainment Earth for regular price.
Yeah, it was not long ago.
Man, first of all, the figure is amazing. It looks exactly like Space Ghost. It comes with a shit ton of accessories. But then, on top of that, it glows in the dark, and it glows like a motherfucker.
Nice.
But the most amazing thing is, looking at it in the light, there is no sign that it's a glow-in-the-dark toy.
Oh, and so he doesn't have like a green hue or anything?
Not at all. It's incredible. I don't even understand how it works, because, like, looking at it right now in the light, there is no indication that this figure would glow in the dark. And that's what you'd think, is that, like, it would have that, at least a sort of green cast to his bodysuit and his cape and everything, and it doesn't. Dude, for anybody, like, if you don't know who Space Ghost is, then obviously this recommendation is not for you. But for any toy collector, that 112 Space Ghost is probably the one I would recommend out of any of them. Just as a badass action figure because I love glow-in-the-dark stuff. But the fact that you can't tell is huge. It's a great figure.
Oh, yeah, he's still going for 80. He's easy to get.
Yeah, I highly recommend that figure. He is worth, and that's the thing, is we've sat here and talked about how expensive these are, and they are pricey, but out of all the toys that I buy, these are the ones that I feel like I really got my money's worth.
Oh, yeah. And I do, like, they're some of the only ones, too. I catch myself just walking over and just kind of staring at, and then I'll get it down and mess with it and kind of change the pose. And, like, the Marvel Legends, like, they look great. I have hundreds of them. But they just stay in their case just like they are. Like, these I'm constantly messing with, and, like, Spider-Man trying to make his webs look better and all sorts of craziness.
Well, and also, you don't want to touch your Marvel Legends, because if you pick one up, you may not be able to get it to stand back up.
That's true.
And then they have that domino effect.
Now, which ones are you looking forward to that you have pre-ordered?
Okay, let's take a look at the website. Oh, actually, one thing I wanted to say. You mentioned the Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is not one of my guys, and one of my sort of guidelines of buying these is it has to be a character that I really, really like. And Doctor Strange is not one of those for me. But the exclusive Doctor Strange, oddly enough, with like the more muted blue colors, For some reason, like, I really dig that one. But I didn't order it. I really like the look of it. Let's see what's coming down the pipe. I already mentioned the Purple Catwoman at some point will be here. I'm pretty stoked about that one. The Blue Sovereign Knight previews exclusive Batman. I'm really, really excited to see that one.
Yeah.
Like you said, that was the Batman that I was like, oh shit, that's the one. Yeah. Now, did you order the black one? The Onyx edition?
I didn't. I went back and forth. I was on the site when it went up, and I thought about getting it just to trade for something later, but sure. I didn't end up doing it. Because like you said, like Special Ops, that's another thing that's interesting about collecting Mezcos that I haven't seen in other toys. People specifically buy these to trade around later.
Yeah.
And like you do it like Special Ops Punisher, that's what I did. I bought it to trade out for a Shazam. That's how I have him. But yeah, so I'll get that Batman. I think Blade's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm stoked about Blade. Actually, the one that I'm most excited for out of the whole freaking line is the one that went up, was it today or yesterday? Diabolic?
Oh yeah, yesterday he went up.
One of my favorite movies is Danger Diabolic, the Italian Mario Bava flick. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's awesome. It's basically like if Batman and James Bond were combined into a thief. It's fantastic, and I can't believe they're doing a Diabolic figure, but they are, and I'm super, super, super stoked about that one.
He's packed with stuff, too.
Tons of stuff. I'm thrilled because initially it looked like he wasn't going to have a lot of accessories, but I didn't care because it's a freaking Diabolic figure, which has never happened before. But I'm also really stoked about Jon Stewart, but you didn't even order him, did you?
No, I have no interest in the figure.
So you and I had completely different reactions to this one, didn't we?
Yeah, I like Jon Stewart a lot.
Sure,
He's animated Justice League. I just do not like what they did with all that green stuff all over him.
Oh, very interesting.
And I know he probably will look better in person, and, Mezco hasn't given me anything to doubt him. I don't know. I just don't like the look of it.
And I get where you're coming from because he does look like the movie Green Lantern.
Yep.
Like, the way that they did his suit, it looks kind of like, or not even kind of like, it looks a lot like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern suit, which I think was a mistake for Mezco to go that way, but at the same time, I think it looks really cool. I love the accessories he comes with. I love the fact that the two different heads reflect kind of the two different ways we're familiar with Jon Stewart. Like, there's basically a comic book head and an animated series head.
Yeah.
He comes with a couple of different construct effects, but nothing that's really a construct. Like, he has a shield. He's got the shining, like, ring deal, but he doesn't have, like, guns and stuff.
Yeah, I was very surprised he doesn't have a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
like,
right.
If you're going to do him, you got to do the sniper rifle.
But here's the thing, is there's almost, and I have not ordered this one yet. Because I've sat there and put him in a cart like 3 times now and have not ordered because I am positive they will do a version of this similar to the Punisher that comes with a shit ton of constructs.
Mm-hmm.
Probably has a slightly more comics accurate suit. Now let's hope they don't go the mosaic route.
Oh God.
But I want this figure. Literally, the only reason I haven't ordered it yet is because I feel so sure they're gonna do like a deluxe version.
Yeah. Well, and that's like we were talking earlier. That's just the danger with these things
right.
These days. It's like you're guessing, like who's in Cable? Cable's another one.
Yes.
That first Cable came out, and he looks great, but I knew they were going to do yellow and blue Cable, so I just waited.
Well,
and sure enough, yesterday, here comes yellow and blue Cable.
Let's talk about that. Because this is something I realized when you and I were messaging back and forth, is that they're doing the previews exclusive Cable that has the blue and yellow suit on, like kind of the standard X-Men uniform, right?
Yep.
Well, they also did that with Cyclops.
Yep.
They did the regular Cyclops that looks, it's the 90s Cyclops, basically. But then the previews exclusive version is more of a sort of X-Men uniform Cyclops. And that Cable, unless I'm mistaken, that Cable matches that Cyclops.
It's pretty close.
So what I was saying is I'd love it if every mutant they do, they would do them in matching blue and yellow X-Men uniforms. And I tell you what, that now I'm already rethinking, like, shit, maybe I want that Cyclops. Because if I could have a shelf of actually a team of X-Men that matched, man, that would be badass.
Yeah.
Well, I would love that.
Cyclops. I love Cyclops.
Oh, I know. Well, look, Cyclops is right. As Quentin Quire said, Cyclops is right. Or as his T-shirt said, I guess.
Well, it's funny. Cyclops will be the first one, so I ordered him in the yellow, the one that matches the Cable. You know, he's got the pockets and all that junk.
Yeah.
But my problem with him is he doesn't have the yellow trunks. So there is this website where you can buy, like, basically cloth accessories that will fit these things.
Oh, really?
And so I've already ordered yellow, like, trunks that will fit him so that he will look like I want him to look.
Oh, that's great. That's funny.
That Cyclops, man, it looks awesome. And he comes with the brown leather jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be great.
Yeah, well, he's 90 Cyclops. I get it. That's, if you're doing X-Men, you have to service the 90s, like, Jim Lee / X-Men animated series looks. You have to.
Yep. And I'm kind of hoping with that, the only problem I had with that Cable they announced yesterday is he doesn't have the shoulder pads. But
that Cable shouldn't.
I know, but I still want him to have them. But I was looking at my crappy Marvel Legends, I think it was the first wave Hasbro put out when they did that Cable that is in that uniform.
Oh, yeah.
And he has the shoulder pads that I think may look okay on him. I'm going to try.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I ordered him today. I always go back and forth. And then,
yeah.
Then I order him.
Well, let's, to wrap this thing up, let's run down. I guess this won't be necessarily every release because I don't think they're all on here, but let's just sort of run down Mezco's page and the stuff that we've got and what we think of it. I don't think either one of us has the Dawn of I'm starting from the bottom of the page since that's the oldest releases.
Okay.
I don't think either one of us got the Dawn of Justice Superman.
No.
But we did. You got the comic book Superman, right?
I do have him. I like him a lot more than some people do.
I think he looks great. I'll be honest, he's a little thicker than I'd like.
Yeah.
But he looks great. I mean, the colors are right, and that's important.
Yeah.
I would like, I don't know. I mean, he looks great. I honestly, there's not anything I can say. What could they have? There's nothing they could have done different to make me any happier with this guy.
Yeah. I don't love the leather underoos. I mean, after a while, you don't even notice them.
Yeah.
But, other than that, he is a little, stocky.
Well, I wish if they had done a smiling face, that would have been nice.
That would have been good, yeah.
But yeah, the leather, it's funny. If you look at pictures online, this is for the listeners, the pleathery vinyl trunks don't look good, but in person, they're fine.
Yeah.
And they match the boots. They match the boots and they match the symbol. So
yeah, they do.
It works. It's fine. Let's see. I got the movie Harley Quinn. She's great. She looks incredible. She comes with a shit ton of accessories. The likeness is amazing. But as apparently going to be an issue with the female figures, or has been so far, the joints and the articulation are really wonky and loose and weird. Let's see. What about Old Man Logan? Did you order that one?
Nah, I didn't get him.
No,
Although
I
I've
didn't
seen
either.
pictures and he looks good, I just don't need him.
He looks great. It's just not anything I really want. Standard issue Wolverine, the brown and yellow one, I ended up liking a lot more. I mean, I ordered him because he's Wolverine, and Wolverine is one of my guys. I missed out on the blue and yellow Wolverine, but I really, really like this one a lot more than I thought I would. The trunks that look more like shorts I thought were going to be an issue, but once you start posing the figure, they really, really work well, so I'm happy with this one.
Yeah.
You've got the blue and yellow one, though, right?
I do. I have the other one. He looks nice. Those claws are sharp as hell, too.
Yeah, you could really hurt yourself on this. We already talked about Doctor Strange. I wish I had ordered Nightmare Batman because it just looks like a great action figure. Not necessarily that I need that version of Batman, but it just looks like a great toy. And the story behind him is so interesting that Mezco canceled him, and then the fans said, no, we want this figure. And Mezco was like, okay, well, we'll do a pre-order. If we get enough, we'll do him. And they got enough, and they did him.
And I feel like was he the first Mezco exclusive?
Maybe. I would believe that. I couldn't say it for sure, but I would believe that. And then movie Wonder Woman, like I said, kind of wonky. Neither one of us got Ascending Night Batman, right?
No.
I'm not a fan of that first appearance look with the long ears and the short gloves. That was a pass for me. What about Homecoming Spider-Man?
No, I'm not doing any of the movie stuff. Although I'll say that Homecoming Spider-Man looks good. He's not out yet, or is he out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks great. I'm sure he's great, and I'm sure he's better than the Marvel Legends version because he won't have red pegs in his arms.
God, it's ridiculous.
Let's see. We had the Ascending Knight Black version. We had Michael Myers, Ragnarok Thor. No movie stuff for you, and I just meh. Justice League Aquaman. Now Joker Deluxe Edition. That's the one that I broke down and I had to get. Did you say you got that one or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I did. It's incredible, and the thing is, my plan had been to, once I got that one, to sell the old Joker or trade it or whatever, but the heads are so different that I really like having two distinctly different Jokers on the shelf, so I haven't gotten rid of the old one yet.
Yeah, he's kind of a regret for me. I kind of wish I had.
He's great. He's tremendous. I'm thrilled that I got him. We have Ragnarok Hulk, Tactical Suit Batman. Now Iron Man, you got. I did not. Has he arrived yet?
So he is not. And here's the thing about Iron Man. They, if you look at the pictures of him and just like the promo shots, he honestly doesn't. I mean, he looks okay.
He looks like a fancy Marvel Legends figure.
Yeah, and he's got metal. The chest is metal. The gloves. He's got a magnet plate. So, I ordered him just because I needed Iron Man. But then, I guess it's been a couple of months now, they did a exclusive Iron Man it was supposed to be Mark 42, the black, I think, Bendis' run.
It looks fantastic.
People started getting it, and even the pictures of that Mark 42, they look the same as this Iron Man does, where they're just kind of like, yeah, that looks all right. And then you see it in hand, and it's unbelievable.
Oh, man.
And so now I'm really excited about this Iron Man. They're apparently heavy, and like, I'm kind of regretting passing on the black one, but...
I saw when that black one went up, I was like, oh man, it was kind of the same thing with the Doctor Strange. I was like, I know this isn't, like, in my head, this is not how I picture this character, but I really like this look. It was the same thing, but I passed on it. I didn't mess with it. Let's see, Alex from Clockwork Orange, I got that one as one of my most recent ones, and man, he's incredible. The likeness, the Malcolm McDowell likeness is unbelievable. The different heads. He's got the head with the hat, head with the mask, head with no mask, and then the beat-up head with the bandages and stuff. He's got the little eyeball cufflinks. He's got like all his gear, everything. He's perfect. He's absolutely perfect. But there are two things that kind of give me reservations about having him. One, he's just this human character on my shelf of basically gods and superheroes. So it's kind of like, what's this guy doing here? And then the other half of it is he is, he's a fictional villain just like anybody else, but he's particularly nasty even when compared with like Joker and Deathstroke and whatever else. So there's like kind of it's a tremendous figure, but there's also kind of like he's a little uncomfortable. So,
my little rapist toy.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. But then I turn around and look at my Star Wars shelf with my Darth Vader figure that murdered literally millions of people. Yeah. And I'm like, well, how does that balance out?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a Dr. Light DC Universe toy. So.
Right. All right. So the movie Black Panther, which we talked about before, looks amazing, fits in with the 112 aesthetic, so it's not really like having a movie toy. It's just like if they had done an amalgam, it might just look like this.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of think they haven't done a comic one, because I can't think of what they would do.
Right. What would
to make it different.
Yeah. Ash from Evil Dead. Now, obviously, because of licensing, we all are familiar with the crazy licensing issues surrounding Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash vs. Evil Dead. So this is very specifically Ash from Evil Dead 2, because they had to license it that way. I have not even opened mine yet because I just haven't had time to take my pictures and everything for review. But I did pull the sleeve off and look at the likeness. And I will say, like, there's so many Ash figures. So many of them don't seem to quite capture what we think of as Bruce Campbell. But this one looks incredible. I'm really...
Does it?
I'm really excited to get it out of the box and play around with it, because it comes with, I think it's got 3 different, well, here, it's sitting right next to me. Why don't I just pull this slipcover off? 3 different heads, and man, they all look, one of them's Evil Ash, but they look spot on. Like, I'm really impressed with this guy, and obviously, it's got the Necronomicon, it's got the chainsaw, it's got the boomstick, but it also comes with his severed hand flipping the bird. I'm, like I said, I don't plan to buy a whole lot of the horror ones, but this is Ash. This is my guy. I've got this guy freaking tattooed on me, so I kind of had to.
Why do you think that Mezco can't get good pictures of these? Like,
right?
Just don't understand, like,
well,
their promo shots never look as good,
but that's
as
everybody.
They are in hand.
That's everybody, though, because Marvel Legends almost always look better in hand. DC Multiverse, like, all of these toys tend to look like, once you get them, for the most part, you're like, oh shit, this looks better than those internet pictures, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just, and Bruce Campbell's likeness in particular has been one that's traditionally very hard to capture in a way that's satisfying to fans. So, yeah, what are you going to do? All right, so you've got Catwoman, right?
I do.
Aesthetically, aside from any joint issues you may have, aesthetically, how is she?
She looks great. I really like her head sculpt. They did a really good job on the facial expressions. The only gripe I have with her is the whip. The whip is just like a string, basically.
Oh.
There's no wire in there, and so you can't get good poses.
And that's super weird, because the Wonder Woman came with one lasso coiled up and one lasso that's a wire.
Yeah. I would have much preferred a wire or just something.
Yeah.
But otherwise, she's great. I mean, I like her. I like that they're starting to do little, like, almost, I guess you could call them Easter eggs or little, like, hidden stuff that they don't announce until people have it. But, like, if you look at the pictures of her, she's got a little belt on her side.
Yeah.
And that opens up, and there's lockpick stuff in it. I mean, you can't pull it out, but there's, like, sculpted lockpicking equipment in that thing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so they didn't show it until people had it in hand, and people got it and was like, whoa, look at this. And so there's been a couple of things like that they're starting to do.
Oh, this is way off track, but I'm going to mention it anyway because it's something I discovered just last night. I found the Gotham by Gaslight Batman, the DC Multiverse one.
Oh, did you?
I found that, and I was shocked that all of his little tools come out.
Huh.
The little daggers and stuff on his pouch, on his side, they're all removable.
Interesting.
I could not believe it. And this is, for you, Ryan, and for the listeners, if you find this figure, it is a great, great figure. I'm shocked at the quality on this thing.
I'm going to have to grab it. Side report, toy report. I found Linda Carter Wonder Woman today.
Oh, no kidding. GameStop?
Yep.
Nice.
She looks okay.
Well, I saw new pictures of her, and it looks like they fixed her thighs.
Yes, that part looks way better.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Ghostbusters box set. I did not order it, and the only reason, and this is going to let you guys know just what kind of a picky asshole I can be. I did not order this because they do not have the tubes on their suits that go from their legs to the back of their belts. That is part of the Ghostbusters uniform in both movies, and Mezco will not answer questions about it. They're just not there.
I have sent them messages. I have
too.
I just don't understand. Like, these figures look so good and come with so much stuff. How do you miss that?
Right. How do you leave out that? And granted, like if you ask my dad, he wouldn't know what we were talking about. But you're asking people to shell out $300 or whatever it is for these figures. These are fans. These are people who know their shit. And you can't just leave a critical aspect that Mattel and Diamond Select both got right on their figures out.
Yeah. And once you know it's not there, I notice it every time.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So these are a pass, and it sucks because they look great. Blade, I've got Blade pre-ordered.
Yep.
Yeah, he looks awesome. I'm stoked about him. Popeye is too creepy. I can't deal with it.
I can't wait to see people with this thing in hand.
Right?
Because I wonder, I have a feeling it's going to be like one of the most awesome action figures ever.
Oh, I agree.
But
it's going to be a total sleeper.
Yeah.
I didn't order Jason Voorhees. Apparently he's out now, but I've got so many Jasons, I just don't need this one. Darkseid is too pricey, and I don't love the character enough to spend that much.
Yeah, I don't care that he's made of polystone.
No,
it's a neat idea, but I think that was stupid to make it that much money.
Purple Catwoman, we've already talked about. Sovereign Knight, Batman. Oh, we passed on the black one, but when you throw the blue on it, it really, really looks good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Standard issue Punisher. Oh, no, wait. No. This is Netflix Punisher. That's a pass for me.
Yeah, I passed on all the Netflix stuff.
Yeah. Then Logan, I didn't really have any interest in that.
No, I think the only reason there was one head on him I liked, and that's kind of one thing they do with these variants is you'll get some extra head. Oh, the patch head. I did like the patch head.
Oh, right, with the eye patch.
Yep. So you can make patches, but I'm not paying $80 for that.
No, absolutely not. Let's see. Clown Prince of Crime Joker, I wasn't really interested in that. I mean, it looks cool, but it looks like a Kenner variant figure.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like an $80 figure that a collector needs.
Yep.
Dawn of the Dead box set, I really don't see people paying this for these. Look, we know, we get it. Dawn of the Dead, it's a big deal. These are two of the signature zombies from the movie. But these, at the end of the day, they're still two random zombies.
Yeah, and they come with one random pistol, and that's it.
Right. That's a weird one for me.
Yeah, at least some other heads, or I guess these are probably specific zombies from.
They are. They are. They're one of them's one of the main characters from the movie after he gets zombified, and the other ones. They're signature zombies, but they're still just zombies.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about how you feel about Batman Beyond.
Oh, he is one I regret skipping. He's one, again, I saw pictures of and was like, shit, I should have bought that.
But do you have, like, is Batman Beyond a thing for you, though? Like, were you into the cartoon?
A little bit, not really. I watched it some. But that figure, when you see people post pictures of it in hand, it looks really good. And looks really nice on the shelf. So, I mean...
I don't even know if I realized that one was actually out yet.
Oh, yeah, he's out.
Oh, okay. Is it weird, though, that they did him as an exclusive? Because, like, he's a different character. It's not like he's a variant of Batman.
Yeah, and, they did that. I don't see him on here, but they did that with Miles Morales, too, where they did the separate character, which, again, Miles is one that he looked all right. But, I mean, I don't hate that I don't have it, and I'm not going to hunt it down or anything, but he's one, again, that looks good in person.
I'll say with Miles and with the Batman Beyond, if I found them like I found that Judge Dredd, like if I found them for like $50 or something, I'd be like, oh shit, I'll get them.
Yeah, I probably would too.
But they're not a big enough deal for me to have paid the full price for, I guess.
Yeah.
Special Ops Punisher, I already mentioned, is fighting for my favorite against that Space Ghost. He comes so much stuff. He looks so good. That white, matter of fact, he's the only one that's still sitting over here on my desk because I've got my little review area where I've got like toys that I've recently reviewed that I just haven't put on the shelf yet, either because I don't have space or I don't want to. So right now, I've got Buddy the Elf, the NACO one that just came out.
Oh, yeah.
The Mego Frankenstein, a Mythic Legions figure, and the Marvel Legends Magic, the Walgreens exclusive one.
Mm-hmm.
Those are sitting there, and those are all like brand new. But this Special Ops Punisher has been sitting over here for months now. And actually, before he was there, that special edition Joker was the one that was sitting over here. But I finally put him over on the shelf. But this Special Ops Punisher has so much stuff, I find myself just grabbing him and playing around with him and playing with his accessories and stuff. He's so good. Oh, and actually, I feel like I need to mention this. The one that I originally ordered arrived and his right shoulder was out of socket. I emailed Mezco about it, and I basically got a stock email like, well, we don't replace blah, blah, blah. There's not much we can do. But then I called them, and an actual person answered the phone, which shocked me. It was like, Mezco, whatever, wherever they're looking, Mezco, California, this is Darren, what can I do for you? And I was like, hey, man, I've got this. And I talked to the guy, and he said, well, we hold a couple back in case of damages. I don't know that we've got any on that one. Hang on just a second. And he puts me on hold for like a couple of minutes, and he comes back, and he's like, hey, they've got another body for that one. So what we can do is I'll ship you this body on Friday. And I was talking to him on like Wednesday. He was like, I'll ship this body on Friday. Take it, send us back your old one, your defective one, and we'll just swap it out like that. And that shit arrived in like 2 days. I sent the other one back, good to go. Like, I couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they handled it. I was really, really impressed. Hela, I was tempted, and if she had come with an unhelmeted head, well, she did come with an unhelmeted head. Yeah. So I guess I just decided against it because the Marvel Legends one, the movie Hela is one of the best Marvel Legends figures that's ever been released.
Yep, she's one of the only Marvel Legends movie figures I own.
Yeah,
she's so good.
And that's I just couldn't justify the upcharge for this one, so I passed on her. But she really does look great. Netflix Daredevil, we both passed on. Cyclops. Now, did you order this regular Cyclops, or did you order the previous exclusive one?
That is the one I ordered.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, if I was going to get one, because the previous exclusive one comes with a fully covered head, right?
It comes, I don't think it has a fully covered head, but it's got the Scott face with the glasses, which is why a bunch of people want it.
Oh, okay. See, I thought it had a fully covered.
It might. Let's look. PX Cyclops.
We'll, while you're looking that up, we'll keep going to Doctor Strange, which I said I like that variant Doctor Strange a lot. Neither one of us, huh?
He does.
That's what I thought. That's why I liked him, is he came with that like X Factor look.
Yep.
Wolverine, Ronin, and neither one of us cared about that. Cable, I'm really torn about which Cable I want, or if I want a Cable at all.
Well, and see, that's what I start thinking too. Somebody pointed out, now I've ordered that other one, but I could cancel it. Like, somebody is thinking too that one is going to come out with the shoulder pads, with a whole bunch more garbage, like...
Oh, you're right. They're likely to do a deluxe Cable the same way they did with Punisher, huh?
Yep. And so that's where I'm kind of going back and forth. Maybe have hope with them. So I don't know.
Right, because they've got a history, because they did the Logan with the baby Hulk. So
yeah. So one thing I
possible.
Can't figure out that came out today, and I can't figure out how this is accurate. But on the regular Cable, his eye lights up and his chest lights up. On the PX exclusive, the eye lights up, and apparently the pulse cannon lights up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
But the pulse cannon, according to them, does not light up on this regular one.
That's really weird.
Yeah, so I don't really understand how that's going to work, or if they somebody just put out the wrong information. Because why would they make two guns, one that lights up and one doesn't?
You know what just occurred to me? All right, so this Cable would be, if I decided to order it, would be my 112 Cable. I already have a big armored up shoulder pad Cable in my Marvel Legends shelf. Matter of fact, I've got two now, because I've got the 90s Cable that just came out, and then I've got the Deadpool video game Cable that came out a couple of years ago, or a year ago, or whenever it was.
Yep.
So now I'm kind of thinking, like, if I get the previews exclusive Cyclops and the previews exclusive Cable, and just start with the assumption that they're going to be doing this uniform style for all their mutants. Oh man, what a rabbit hole.
It's how they get you.
It is how they get you. All right, moving on. Iron Man Model 42, the black and gold that we already talked about, that, like, I think both of us kind of wish we'd ordered.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, these pictures don't do the justice that they talked about. That black in this picture looks plasticky.
Yeah.
In person, it's like matte.
Oh, really?
It's like a solid matte black and looks
man.
really good. But anyway.
Homecoming, neither one of us got that. I'm sure it's fun and all, but whatever. Freddy Krueger was a pass. Green Lantern, we already talked about how we feel about that. The Onyx Sovereign Knight, which basically looks like movie Batman, like 1989 movie Batman, which was my big temptation for ordering it, but yeah. I ended up not ordering it.
So did you see what happened with that too?
No, what's the deal?
They had a problem with the website. Special Ops Punisher. Remember we were ordering Special Ops Punisher and payments weren't going through? And it kept kicking back.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't handle. So it happened with Onyx, too. And a bunch of people got sent to the payment screen, and it locked down, and they went to waitlist. Well, today, I mean, if you look at the number of people that are saying it, it looks like maybe half of the people that went on the waitlist got him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so Mezco's website is not the best. So
but it is better than ones we've dealt with in the past.
It is. That is true. Who else there? Go back. So yeah, I mean it's probably the closest to Keaton we're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean it looks great. It comes with the Bruce Wayne head, which I mistakenly thought the previews exclusive Sovereign Knight came with that, but apparently it doesn't. But yeah, it really does look like that 89 movie Batman, but I'm just going to have to live without it. And I've got figures of that anyway, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
We talked about the Vigilante Daredevil, and we talked about Diabolic, so that brings us, I think, up to speed, and we've covered all of the key stuff with the 112. Now, I didn't...
you know what they don't have on here that we can talk about?
What's that?
So... where they are going now. We have seen Commissioner Gordon that comes with the bat signal.
Right.
We don't know how much that is going to be, and they are making a Batmobile.
That is happening? Because they showed, what did they show? The Dawn of Justice Batmobile originally?
Yes, so they're going to make this Batmobile, supposedly. They talked about it. They're trying to figure out if they're going to do like they did with Nightmare Batman and do a pre-order and see if people are interested. But it's being made. And then what's the other big set? Oh, Lockjaw. Black Bolt and Lockjaw.
Oh, right.
Which, I mean, Lockjaw looks great, but I'm not paying that much money for Lockjaw and Black Bolt.
No, because you know what? At some point, Hasbro's going to make Lockjaw.
Oh, yeah.
And it will be... it'll be $20, $30 or whatever. Maybe it'll be a Build-A-Figure. Maybe it'll be whatever. But, like, it ain't going to be $150 or whatever they're going to charge for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I got, as far as the Batmobile goes, man, I got the Mattel one last year, the remote control one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever need another Batmobile.
I don't know. They're going to... My guess is if they come out with one, it's going to be a weird mix of like the 89 and the animated version.
That's how they would get me if they did a straight up 1989 Batmobile, Keaton, and Nicholson. Like I'd be in for that. There's no way I could say no to that.
Yeah. And who else have they announced? Magneto.
Well, they announced Magneto, but also they're all the Star Trek figures they did that seem to have tapered off now. I didn't buy any of because I've got the Star Trek figures I need. I don't really need to spend $80 on Captain Kirk. I'm trying to think what else has sort of come and gone with them. They did the Frankenstein, but they haven't done any other Universal monsters. And as far as what they've announced, I'm sure there are a few other things we're forgetting, but, Toy Fair, it's fucking weird to say it. Toy Fair is right around the corner.
Jeez, it is. And I'll say, they kind of slowed down. They didn't announce much at San Diego, because I think they knew they kind of got ahead of themselves.
Yeah, I think you're right. They recognized, like, man, we really blew our load at Toy Fair. And they kind of, at San Diego, I think there might have been a couple of new things, but they really just sort of showed, like, here are the updates on the other stuff we announced.
Yep.
Which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's absolutely. That's no problem at all. Well, cool. I think we've covered the 112 collective toy line pretty well at this point, and this is another mini cast where we hit on one specific topic and kind of just cover whatever we feel like talking about. So, Ryan, thank you for coming on and talking about the Mezco 112 Collective. Any last thoughts about this toy line before we wrap it up?
If they ever make Star Wars, I'll go bankrupt.
Oh, see, that's me. That's me for G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
If 112 G.I. Joe started coming out, I would have to start selling some other toys because that would be my shit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Needless Things podcast. You're the best. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Downcast, or in the ears of a Trader Vic's employee. Love you. Mean it.